I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we ask that you would bless this group. I ask that you would help us all to have wise thoughts and wise expressions of those. We ask for your guidance as we make decisions, and that you bless this body as we do. Amen.
You should have all received copies of our last meeting. Any additions or corrections to it? I have one. If we look at the other matters properly presented in the discussion of wage increases, at the very bottom of the page, $1 per hour increase for those in the bands, and if that does not apply, then 0.75 cents. 0.75 cents is less than 1 penny.
Plus the performance.
Yeah, so it should it be 75 cents or should it be something else?
It's 75 cents.
Yeah, but 0.75 cents is not 75 cents. So that should be
Dollar sign 75? Dollar sign .75?
Your dollar sign
Dollar
point
sign
75 and just get rid of the
Good
point.
grief. Okay. Well, why don't you can still approve them contingent upon me making that change. That's the only
Make a
thing.
motion to approve with that amendment.
Any other additions or corrections? Need a motion?
Corey motion.
Murray?
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented and corrected. They will be. Sitting done. Julie Marie?
Okay. Good morning, all. I sent everyone an email to enclose and advise you of a request made by the Adams County Council on Aging. Michelle Langridge is here to explain in a little bit more detail, but you have all the background information. They're requesting $200,000 from the ARPA funds in order to do some upgrades and some program and service implementation at their facility. They would qualify under ARPA under the impacted community impact because they are a 401c3 organization. So with all of that information, if you have any questions, you can direct them to Michelle. She's here. Michelle, why don't you come on up here and have a seat in case anyone has anything? Sure. Okay. Anybody have any questions about the program or the proposed project request?
I assume everybody got the email she sent out.
Okay, is the city going to be providing any funds? I mean, it's a city building, I know it's a county organization, but
It's a city building, and the county provides the services. So what we're doing is we're providing an interlocal agreement contingent upon their continued use of it for a protracted period of time. In other words, they would get the benefit and use of it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years if we have this interlocal agreement. So what we're doing is we're dealing with the lease on that with the city, and we'll be able to manage it that way.
So since I opened the senior, so I turned, at the Old Northwest, I turned the library into a senior center, and it was just a big open space. So the plans that I sent you guys would include replacing the flooring. Currently, the carpet is missing in places from where like the circulation desk was, and it's a trip hazard for seniors, so I would like to put different flooring and paint. And then there's an unused courtyard between the east and the west wings of the building that I want to turn into the senior gardens that I said. There's really no ideal space for seniors to gather except for that now, and I would love to expand on it and let them have shuffleboard and pool table and all sorts of options that they can still gather and socialize We've started monthly bingo. We've started a monthly painting with Ruth Green. We've got cards that come every week and play. So puzzles and games. I'm trying to find more and more ways to engage the seniors to give them something back for all they've given the community over the years.
How many people participate in these programs?
So when we had bingo last, so it's only my second bingo, we had 30.
So how many of those were Geneva residents?
I don't know. They just signed their name. They didn't put which area they were from. But I have advertisements down in the Burns Senior Center to draw that in as well. Do you have any suggestions on how I can reach more Geneva residents?
Post it in the library,
The post
Okay.
office?
post office.
But I just don't see Geneva residents coming up to utilize this when they have the Burn Center.
Well, we offer a little bit different offerings than the Burn Center does. The Burn wouldn't have shuffleboard. They do have a pool table, which we do, but they don't offer the monthly painting, or we have a rock painting class, bingo, that sort of thing. And the prizes for bingo are all donated locally as well, so they're fresh fruits, vegetables, that sort of thing.
Do they offer rides, those vans from Geneva up here?
We take people from Geneva every day, especially dialysis. We've got two people that live down in Geneva that we take the dialysis to and from. We just offer a little bit more than what Burn's offering currently, and that's just because they had closed down and they're a little bit more limited. We have a little bit more space with the courtyard opportunity. We have pickleball court now in the gym, so I've got people coming every day for pickleball, and they're from all over the county. The local pickleboard group has over 100 members, so
How long is your lease?
2 years. So we're managing the building currently for the city in exchange for the lease for the rent.
Will that continue?
Do what?
Will that continue?
Yes.
And who would maintain all the stuff, and where would that money come from?
We are planning on maintaining it with volunteers. Currently, the football team came in the fall and they helped clean out. So I do work with the lady who does the early college at Belmont, Mrs. Hauser, Blackburn, and they bring students to come help. They helped clean up. The weeds were taller than the players. I don't know if Dylan came for that or not. Probably was there, but it's just been an unutilized space that I would like to utilize for the seniors.
My concern comes to the courtyard, because it's building wide, it could be utilized by the city. I'm just wondering if the city could help with some, maybe their ARPA funds, or maybe, I don't know even what they have planned for that. Maybe they have something in the works.
The lease has us having the courtyard
Oh, does it?
for the senior, yes.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be open building wide, it's pretty much for the seniors and the senior center. And it is enclosed in the back, so it's not just an open free for all. I mean, you have to enter, well, we will put a door in, but there's no access right now other than the boiler room to go into the courtyard.
So in the winter, when you have these programs, do you have a bus that's going to pick up the residents from the lower end of the county, or are they going to have to drive to participate in these activities?
Oh, they're welcome to come and they don't have to pay for the ride to go to the activities.
Okay. So you'll have a bus down in the lower part of the county that they can just get on to come
They
up
just
here?
call and schedule it with us, yep. That's all they do, as long as it's a couple of days' notice, it's usually no issue. We're down in Geneva at the far end of the county every day, so,
Yes, if you pick them up for dialysis.
yeah.
Could you get more information down to Geneva? I notice a lot of these activities that you have do go on down there in Bern, and some of them in Geneva. So I don't know if they're going to,
Which ones? I didn't know there's,
the arts and craft, the cards, painting. I know some of that. I have a sister-in-law that helps with a lot of that. I know they have, up in the library, they have, what is it they have up there? I mean, I know what I'm
They
talking,
have all kinds of stuff.
all
there at the
kinds of
library
stuff.
for the
They have
seniors,
crafts,
yeah.
they have exercise for seniors and all. So I was just, I just can't see a lot of the seniors utilizing Decatur.
Well, that'd be a good opportunity for Decatur, the northern half, to have some of those opportunities they don't have down south too. I think it might, I would maybe suggest tabling it and looking, it just got thrown, I mean, when we get the email,
Yesterday,
yeah.
yeah, in all fairness.
Because I'd like to see what else the city would be, I'm not opposed to it at all. I just like to see what, if the city could also,
Help in with the ARPA funds or?
something. I mean, you guys have
They
a,
do maintain the building, the city does, they do all the yard work and all of that,
right,
you know, snow, and they were mowing yesterday.
and now you guys are maintaining the burden of,
Well, they
I
have.
think you're the gatekeeper of the whole building, aren't you?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely the touch base person, the welcome person for the building. I don't know. I don't know what their take would be on that. I mean, I just worked with them for the agreement to get in there and to help run the building for them and, you know.
And with the short-term lease of 2 years,
I think they,
and it's kind
originally
of
we
a,
had talked about a lot longer lease because we were here 26 years when we helped do the grant to redo this building back in 95. But I think that was just an initial lease. I have no doubt that we'll be there.
That was just the initial lease. The intention is to have a long-term, permanent lease situation. We're just in the process of getting all of the details of that interlocal agreement done.
I would be in favor of tabling as well, but I think would be really nice, as I've said it a couple times, but I don't know what it's gonna take to do it, but if we could just say, you know, September or set a date where we have anybody that has any kind of ideas that wants anything for ARPA money, let's put them all at the same time and analyze them all together, because it's hard to know, you know, it's hard to see the big picture when it's, you know, this very well may be one of the best projects out there, but I don't know what else exists. So it'd be nice if we can do the research, do all the math, and pick from all of them, you know, and we may have to do a couple sets of those, but it'd be nice to see all the options before we keep, you know, committing to whichever ones happen to come up.
I would too, because we have churches that also have things going on for seniors, like Geneva does have a senior dinner program for anybody that wants to
With
come.
aging and home. They will do a free meal. They'll
Yep,
come
we
in
do a
and
free meal.
supply. Yeah. I've just been working on this with them for over a year, so whatever other information you guys need.
And for me, it's not necessarily, I'm not sure there's a particular piece of information I'm wanting from you per se. I just want to know what are all the projects, what are the different projects that other people in the community might want from this money? Because we just keep using it without
That's
really
right, 'cause
knowing.
I read the minutes and I thought, oh, well, you know, there's a lot of money going out. I want to make sure that our presentation gets in there.
Yep.
Is there still
Well,
quite a bit of
the
the
ones we've
ARPA money
approved so far
left?
have been somewhat time sensitive, but I agree, we should take a look at as many as we can. And it's a pretty hefty price tag, and as John is saying, I mean, I think it'd be worth also inquiring within the city and see what they might want to bring to the table as far as that goes, just to, and any other grants that may or may not be available.
Okay, so
Because it's-
table till September, so we'll have to wait another year for it.
no, I think we're just tabling it until we maybe talk with the city, is what I was saying, and see what their plans are, if they have any, and what other options.
Okay.
Just to alleviate, some of the price tag and from just this, this entity.
Yeah, I hate to bring it back next month, but I'll have to make a motion to table it for the June meeting, just so we can do a little homework and,
Do I need
Or
to contact anyone on my end, or?
I'll work with you to
Okay.
get all of those things coordinated and
Perfect.
John, could we just table it in general for now, and then she can work with him to get it back on the schedule whenever, yeah.
All right, thanks.
thank you.
Just not taking it out.
that's all I had. Thank you.
Well, if you recall, over a year ago, we had asked for a summary of projects and dollar amounts from Mark Burry when he sat here. We still don't have that. And I think we need to have some kind of movement towards spending of this money before it's all gone.
Actually, I think at the last meeting, we did a resolution which summarized all of the projects and all of the money that had.
Past ones, he's talking about, we're looking for future ones.
Oh, future ones. I can tell you that neither Mark nor I are currently aware of anybody that has come in and asked for anything. I don't know what your experiences have been, but we don't know of any projects that have been requested right now. The Council on Aging is the only one that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I'll check on that too. But I do want to make sure that all the departments know that there's a request form and all that stuff, and so I think we need to hit them up to see if there is anything that's on a
Well,
wish list.
I sent you out a
Yeah, that was addressed
proposed
in your-
draft of the request form. Do you think that disseminating it to all the department heads is something that you'd like to do? You never
I think it might,
indicated
I'm
what
up
you
to
wanted.
suggestions, but I think it might make a lot of sense if we said, I'm just making up deadlines off the top of my head, so amend however we want. But what if we said, for a first round, maybe we don't use it all, but at least a round, let's send that back out, maybe even put it in the paper. Anybody that has ideas, submit those by August 1st, and we'll consider them in whatever, September or October. And at least that way we can kind of see what's out there and people know, hey, if you want to access this money, be thinking right now.
So are you thinking just send to the department heads and put it in the paper?
I think it should go in both, because there's people like that probably have nothing to do with the county that very well may have a good need for it or a good idea that we're not thinking of. I don't know, it's just an idea, but that'd be a way to do that possibly.
Well, to date, I think we've just taken care of projects that are already on the table and wrapped up our business end of it.
I'd like to see a lot of it go into the community, into our communities, not just government, but how do we benefit the entire county?
Stan, do you guys, commissioners, have any other requests out there that you know of besides what's already transpired?
I don't know of anything. Yeah, I don't know anything.
And when's the next payment? Is it next week?
We got an email Friday from the Department of Treasury. So I had to go through all the submission stuff, and we got that done, and we should be getting that pretty soon, the next installment.
Okay. Which is what, about 3.4 million?
3.474, something like that.
We also need to know though if there's any, like with this building, we have the chillers. Those, really had to be done. So if there's anything else like that coming up that we're aware of, we should definitely know about that.
Absolutely.
So what if we say those are due by either August 1 or September 1 for this first round, and then maybe at the budget sessions where we're all together for 3 days anyways, might be a good time for us to kind of work through what would be the best use of those. And hopefully by then we would have answers to things like what kind of big capital projects need to happen or things like that.
May I suggest August 1st rather than September 1st? That way you're not overloading yourselves, budget, and having to deal with ARPA at the same meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Did you want our office to send to all department heads the request form and that message?
Yes, I think that would be appropriate.
One thing that we sort of discounted was solar energy. And I think, very honestly, as stewards, maybe we ought to look at that again. It's not going to get cheaper to buy gas or electricity. Just a thought.
Hey, Julie Marie, people contact you about ideas? Are you a contact person for the news story? How do you?
I would say the auditor's office
Yeah, I
probably.
think the auditor's office would probably be more
Auditor goes to
appropriate.
county?
Yes, thank you.
Any more?
I have nothing else. Thank you.
Tony?
I have 2 more additionals. One is elected officials training for the recorder. And he has a fund that can be used for that, and he needs a little more for training, $1,000. And then reassessment, $2,500 for equipment, and I believe that is computers.
That's it?
That's all. We would just need to have discussion and either approve or deny those two additionals. Stan, are computers, would that cost be computers that Mike is switching all the virtual things over to physical? Is that what that is?
Some of it, and I didn't hear which department you were replacing.
Reassessments would be assessor's office.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because some of the things will remain on VDI and some of the things we'll have to switch back to.
I'm not sure council was aware of that going on. If you want to explain to council about what
Yeah.
Mike's doing.
Several years ago, we made a decision, and part of our decision to recable all the buildings and move to thin clients and all the desktops was to go to a virtual desk interface. And so what that meant was that every desk wouldn't have to have a personal computer setting. So we kind of moved in that direction. And that has remained a good thing as people had to work from home or work remotely, whatever. But what has happened is we found out that those VDI equipment, the thin clients, were very difficult to upgrade as Microsoft and the other software offered patches and upgrades. And it was just extremely difficult and labor intensive to do that. So what we're moving back to is replacing some of those thin clients back with a computer at people's desk where we'll still have that VDI environment available for people who work from home. So anyway, that's what some of the computers that you're seeing being replaced are kind of going back to that computer at the desk. I don't know if that makes sense.
I know these are both small amounts, but I just still want to be diligent, I guess. Are we 100% sure there's nowhere these could be transferred from or spent out of something that's...
Well, the training fund can only be used for training, I believe. The reassessment, I'm not sure.
Tony, what's that training about? I didn't hear that.
1,000.
1,000, okay, good.
That's part of that recorder's per fund. That can only
They can't use training out of anything else.
That's why he took it out of that.
If he takes it from anywhere else, it's gonna come from county general. He doesn't have the money there.
Yeah.
He does not get that much budgeted in county general.
And he can also, if some departments, the constitutional offices, if they need further training and don't have enough, he can actually release some to them for their training if need be, which I think he's done
And that
this
fund,
year sometime.
the elected officials training is money that the recorder's office brings in, so it has nothing to do with tax dollars. It's not a tax driven fund. Now, reassessment is a tax driven fund, but, I mean, if they don't pay it from there, they're gonna pay it from county general, so you're gonna pay it from one tax fund or another.
Yeah, it's a small amount, but I do just want to try and stay diligent on those, making sure that we can't use unexpended or transfer something else before we additional, but these are small, I
And
understand.
pretty much when additionals come to our office, more often than not, we will question that and we will ask them, is there anywhere that you can transfer this from? For the same reason that you're saying. So
Stan, is all of our software and equipment upgraded to the point where we're good for a long period of time?
I think in the big picture, it's gonna be a never-ending maintenance situation between software licensing, and then like even the servers and switches and things have end of life dates to where, sometimes we can extend that with the hardware and sometimes it's just drop dead, no, this piece of equipment is no longer supported. So it's gonna be an ongoing process, but I think right now, the server room that we've got, the DMARC room that we've got, the changes we've made over at the jail are just giving us a very robust system, you know, that's got good storage backup, good security, you know, with firewalls and so. But as far as are we done, no, we'll never be done.
That's the dilemma of every company out there. It's a constantly changing.
Yeah, they're like cars. You buy them and use them for 5 years, 10 years, and then they have to be replaced and upgraded and, you know, maintained, oil changes.
If I could say
Licensing.
one more thing about the computers, and as far as reassessment, initially, when the assessor came in and talked to Mike about ordering those new PCs, he was told that the money was in their budget to do that. And then when they came in, she said, oh, no, I don't have that money. So I'm not sure what happened. So he ordered them on the basis that she had that money.
Thank you.
So that might be a question for the assessor.
Anything else, Tony?
Those are only two things I have, and it's up to them whether or not to make a motion to approve them. For the elected officials training and reassessment. The American Rescue Plan Act one was already discussed and that's been tabled, so it's only the two.
You can try calling Mary down here.
And that's a bad idea.
Do you want to call her?
You guys want-
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I did. Was there opposition?
No.
No. No no's, no no's.
That is all that I have.
Are there other matters to be brought before us at this time?
Thanks, adjournment.
I guess no.
If not, ask for a vote to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
That might be a record.
John and
It is.
John and Fred on adjournment.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The Merit Center building, that's owned by the city, but it's being leased by the county. Who leases it?
I can't hear you, John.
The entire building.
Yeah, if I've had it.
Entire
You're on the
building.
commissioner's agenda.
Part of the whole thing. And that's a 2-year deal right now. Well, it makes it longer.
We didn't have it on council, we had it on commissioners.
Well, I had it from your office 8:30 for council and 11:50 for commission.
Right, I didn't know how that was all set up.
Is that on there? When did you?
Right.
A week ago.
That's right, yeah, that's good.
Never showed up.
Okay, cool, I hope they get that.
Well, do you want
They
to
also-
reconvene the meeting in order to do what John needs to do?
I mean, I can wait another month, but what I'm asking for is gonna already be in effect, but.
Yeah, I don't have it on my agenda for some reason, so.
I'd assume if he's able to be on, if it's just an error on our part, I'd open it back up.
But I'd like to be able to read the paperwork before we make a
Well,
decision on
it's
it.
just a grant, right?
Yeah, he's got.
You're just wanting to get money, right? You're trying to receive money
Yes, I want you to approve, yeah.
from a grant. We're not spending money, we're, okay.
That's the hazardous mitigation.
Yes,
How many grants are there?
there's 3 all underneath the hazardous mitigation.
It would have to be council and commissioners both approving that, and commissioners will meet next, so it's up to you guys if we want to reconvene and get that done.
Julie, are we okay to do that?
Yes.
I thought it'd be
Yes.
okay. Okay.
So we need a motion to
Absolutely, just a
reconvene.
motion
Yeah.
to
I
reconvene.
make a motion to reconvene to take care of the grants.
I second.
We're back in business.
Almost set it up.
John?
Sorry.
They still have the right.
It was our plan, and I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. Anyway, I have 3 different grants under the hazard mitigation material emergency preparedness grants. The first one has to do with, we're doing a commodity study. Now, this hasn't been in my 16 years, we have not done, but a commodity study is, we hire a firm to come in and they sit all around the county at different intersections a certain amount of time, and they read the placards on the back of semis coming through to determine what kind of bad stuff we have coming through the county. Which leads us, if we need to ask for additional grants to prepare for something that we weren't aware of, or at the same time, improve our training in certain areas, that kind of stuff. You don't do it often, but it's part of, or we can get a grant to do that. We applied and did receive a grant that we, in the process of accepting, to have a firm sit down, and they're going to start doing it within the next month.
So that's all paid for by this grant.
Yeah, all paid for by this grant, yes.
How much is that grant, please?
The total grant is $13,075. And also, there's $1,000 that we are bringing part of it, we're bringing Fort Wayne Hazmat down to do a little deal with the fire stations. They are our hazardous material, but we don't have a hazmat team in the county, way too expensive. So we use the Fort Wayne hazmat team, and every so often we get a grant to bring them down, show the fire guys what they have available and that type of stuff. So if something happens, that's
First
it.
responder.
So they know what they can call for and that type of stuff. So, and that's all part of that grant. Second one is, and this is for our exercise that we have to do every year. And the total for that is $7,820, again paid for. And this is paid for through the fees that are charged by the federal government for people who have hazardous materials at their facility. And this is for our exercise. We also have we haven't done it probably for 6 or 7 years. We actually have hired a facilitator to make a little bit better exercise this year, more professional than what we have. We have to do one every year. But that is our second one that we have. And finally, the third one is that professional training. We have Barb in our office in her off time is hired by the LAPC to do work on the CAMU. In other words, all the reporting that everybody with hazardous material has to report to the state every year. She oversees all that, makes sure all the paperwork is filed, and we give her money to do that. And then we bring in, well, we did last year for the first time, and we want to do it again this year. And we have the money to do it, and that is to bring in Jason Meek, who is a fire trainer, but he's approved by the state. He comes in and does a professional series for our responders, mainly fire departments, to come in, but also police, on middle management decisions in an emergency, that type of thing. And that's the third one that we have a grant for to cover.
And John, what's the amount of that one?
Excuse me?
What's the amount of that one?
The amount of that one, the total is $89,4807.
John, you just have one copy of each.
I brought 2 copies because I knew you'd want one.
I'll need one, yeah, I'll need a copy. Once the council and commissioners are both done, I'll definitely need a copy
Yeah,
too. So.
I have 2, and
Okay.
I need, Tony, your signature, and I need Dennis's signature is all I need if everybody approves.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Good. Thank you.
John, did you second?
For the grant, you applied to the LEP.
Kathy second? My head
It's
down.
it's the IERC,
What's that?
which is a state board that runs the LEPCs and the environment, but it actually is a federal grant through, I think maybe Department of Commerce, not sure.
Federal money?
Yeah.
What's IERC stand for?
Way to go.
Indiana Emergency Response Coordinator.
You gotta look at the,
Indiana Emergency Response.
yeah,
That sounds
that sounds good.
Roll that.
Let's go with that.
John, what was the amount of the last disbursement?
Okay. 894807. 894807.
John, none of these require county matches at all, right? This
No,
is just-
but we do, what we have to do is that we have to pay the money and then we get it reimbursed.
Yeah, okay.
We do it through a certain number, but yes, no matching on this one. I can tell you this, though, that the one that that you approved, the matching of the hazard and the upgrade of the hazardous mitigation, we just finished. And I think we went through the meetings, it's being approved now, or being submitted to FEMA for approval. And I think we have enough to cover the match on that one, so I don't think there'll be any county money out of that, other than time served.
Have a motion.
I don't think so.
Have a motion to approve the 3 grants as requested. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You bet. Right.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
That's the first time it's ever happened.
All right.
Need a second.
I seconded it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're done. First and twice.
I just need you to sign.